one of the things that we have to work very hard on is educating students in high school on vocational opportunities and getting them ready for the job force. These are things that are very, very high on my agenda. We need to give every student a chance to be productive in our society, because not every student goes to college. And those students that don't go to college can be productive in our community. We really need to focus on the bedrock foundation of creating jobs and retaining jobs. We have to have programs that are in place that foster new expansion with companies and the promotion of hiring new employees. And that goes from the Mexican restaurant in South Stockton to the automobile repair shop right out at the auto center to a warehouse operation in Antioch. We have to work on those types of programs that are going to expand and grow jobs. So I've always wondered, why don't we have a congressman that throws on his cowboy hat and plays Rick Perry for this area? You know, we have a Texas governor that he's come into our area to steal jobs away from California to take them back to Texas. We should be doing that here with our congressmen, going to other regions within California to expand those companies and bring their distribution facilities here. And we need somebody who's engaged in the jobs process on a local basis so that we are in the process of attracting jobs all the time, expanding jobs all the time. That is what the focus should be of this congressman who represents this congressional district. So crime is a really incredible problem in this congressional district from every end of the district. Some communities don't have as much crime as others, but what we need is a sustained presence of federal resources to help our local law enforcement officials with their arduous task of reducing crime. We've seen a perfect example of that in Stockton, where our wonderful Chief of Police, Eric Jones, has been able to take and lower our murder rate by 60%. We did that through a program with the ATF and followed up by the presence of the U.S. Marshals Service. Guns and gangs are a big problem here, and in every reach of this district. We need to be very, very focused, laser fixed on this issue, because this is the health of our community, and this is what makes us feel safe in our living rooms at night. So immigration reform in this country needs to take on the complexion of the congressional district. We have a serious need for workers in our congressional district. And I've been told by farmers and business owners alike that we need the ability to have individuals come into our country and work in our businesses and out on our farmland. What concerns me is the talk about the pathway to citizenship. You know, I was at the Cinco de Mayo festival in downtown Stockton. I was the only candidate there, and I talked to about 1,000 families, and one gentleman in particular stands out. He was from El Salvador, and he's been trying to get his citizenship for 4 years. And he told me, he says, if you allow people to cut in line in front of me, I will be so mad at you. This is one of the things. We need to have a process that people can get their citizenship if that's what they desire. But we also need workers here. Not every worker that works in our country wants to be a citizen of our country. So there's two distinctive differences here. And anybody that's in our country needs to participate fully in paying taxes, paying for health care. These are things that I feel very strongly about. We need to secure our borders before we do any of this. And as we're securing our borders, we can implement aspects of an immigration reform bill that all people can share in the benefits of. This community is in San Joaquin County is very, very much so in need of a workforce, a consistent workforce, a workforce that doesn't work in the shadows. We need to pay attention to how we approach this. as to the health and welfare of our district and how immigration reform applies to our district. It's not a one-size-fits-all. This congressional district is different than others. So what we need to do is we need to make sure that we are bringing in the right type of legislation that fits the needs of this congressional district. So with the aspect of high-speed rail in California, I'm opposed to it because we have a failing infrastructure. California really needs to focus more on improving our highway system. They get federal funds from the Department of Transportation, and I feel that the funds that come to California from the DOT need to be specifically allocated to the current infrastructure that we have. I'm not opposed to rail service in California like Amtrak or the wonderful service that we have with the Altamont Commuter Express. This is something that is needed in this area, but the high-speed rail connection between Northern and Southern California, I don't think that the long-term costs of it are going to be productive for our state, and I also don't think that the average everyday individual is going to see a difference, a huge difference between picking up an airline ticket and flying to Southern California or jumping in their car and driving for 5 hours and the costs that are involved. So I think that the high-speed rail connection is a pricey, risky proposition that this state has embarked on, and I do not support it. So in every debate that I've been involved in talking with people in this congressional district, I bring up the issue about this Veterans Hospital that I don't believe is going to get built here in this area. Even though we have a congressman who was not involved in the process of putting together this Veterans Hospital until the very end, he claims credit for it. And what I think is a disgrace in this congressional district is that veterans in the Central Valley have to jump in their cars and drive to Palo Alto for major procedures, to go to Livermore for less significant procedures, and they have no resources here within San Joaquin County of any size to speak of. That's what this proposed Veterans Hospital was to do, is to focus on veterans in this area. The problem is that the president's budget cut construction funding in half. The VA has linked this particular facility in San Joaquin County to another facility in, I believe, Fremont, and they're not willing to separate the two facilities and to stand on their own merit. And once again, veterans in this county are basically forgotten about. We need a congressman who's going to stand up for our veterans, to provide real relief to veterans right now, not 10 years from now, not an $864 million facility that we may never see. Veterans need help right now, and that's what the core issue is here with veterans, is that we've forgotten about the immediate need, and we're more concerned about the long-term need. And we have a congressman who is not focused on the immediate need of veterans in this community and others in this congressional district. So regarding this twin tunnel system that is being proposed by the governor, I really have to tell you, I think that it will cause ecological devastation in the Delta that will be permanent. We'll never know the Delta the way that it is today, tomorrow. And the amount of plant life that will be devastated and the amount of aquatic fish life that will be devastated because of saltwater intrusion is going to be significant. I don't think anybody with an ounce of common sense can reason the fact that two 40-foot tunnels from the Sacramento River headwaters is not going to kill fish or plant life. And my big question mark is, where are these environmentalists that put an end to the pumping at Delta Mendota, protection of the smelt. Where are these environmentalists with this proposal? You see, the solutions are here now, with above ground and below ground water storage, with desalinization plants throughout the coastline of California that will provide water solutions. Once again, environmentalists shut down these opportunities, and we really need to look at what is better for our state. These two tunnels are an ecological disaster. Stand up and be counted when it comes to destroying this incredible ecosystem called the Delta. We need these environmentalists to be on the same page as us now when we need them to protect the Delta